Discussion on second set of cardiology multiple choice questions. Statin adverse effect or effects with confirmed causality. A. Myalgia or myopathy. B. Temporary elevation of alanine aminotransferase. C. New onset diabetes mellitus. D. All of the above. E. None of the above. Please subscribe to this channel for future updates. Click on the subscribe button. Press the bell icon after that for all updates. Correct answer D. All of the above. Minimum mean gradient required to consider the diagnosis of severe tricuspid stenosis. A. 2 mm of mercury. B. 5 mm of mercury. C. 10 mm of mercury. D. 25 mm of mercury. Correct answer B. 5 mm of mercury. Tricuspid valve is the largest heart valve and works in the low pressure pulmonary circulation. Normal gradient is less than 2 mm of mercury. In contrast, mitral valve works in high pressure systemic circulation and normal gradients are higher. Intervention is indicated in symptomatic severe high gradient aortic stenosis with A. Mean gradient above 20 mm of mercury. B. Aortic velocity above 3 meters per second. C. Mean gradient above 20 mm of mercury and aortic velocity above 3 meters per second. D. Mean gradient 40 mm of mercury or more, or peak velocity 4 meters per second or more. Correct answer D. Mean gradient 40 mm of mercury or more, or peak velocity 4 meters per second or more. Severe aortic stenosis can also exist with a low mean gradient below 40 mm of mercury. In such cases, usually there is associated left ventricular dysfunction, so that left ventricle is unable to produce sufficient force to generate the high gradient. Before intervention is contemplated in such cases, left ventricular contractile reserve should be documented as improvement in stroke volume with dobutamine infusion. Pseudo-severe aortic stenosis can also be there when the measured valve area is low because of low cardiac output, which prevents proper opening of the valve leaflets due to low stroke volume. In that case, the measured valve area increases above 1 square centimeter with dobutamine infusion. Most common cause of acute severe aortic regurgitation. A. Aortic dissection. B. Infective endocarditis. C. Rheumatic fever. D. Myocardial infarction. Correct answer B. Infective endocarditis. Though acute rheumatic fever can produce aortic regurgitation, usually mitral regurgitation is the dominant lesion in acute rheumatic carditis. Aortic dissection can cause acute aortic regurgitation if the dissection flap reaches the level of the aortic valve. Myocardial infarction can cause acute mitral regurgitation if a papillary muscle is severely ischemic or ruptures, but not aortic regurgitation. Most common cause of chronic aortic regurgitation in the Western world is degenerative disease of bicuspid or trileaflet aortic valve. In developing countries, rheumatic fever is still an important cause for chronic aortic regurgitation. In which of the following conditions non-vitamin K antagonist oral anticoagulants should not be used? A. Aortic regurgitation with AF. B. Aortic bioprosthesis implanted 6 months back with AF. C. Mechanical prosthetic valve with AF. D. Mitral regurgitation with AF. Correct answer C. Mechanical prosthetic valve with AF. Subgroup analysis of certain clinical trials support the use of rivaroxaban, apixaban, dabigatran and edoxaban in patients with aortic stenosis, aortic regurgitation or mitral regurgitation having AF. NOACs can also be used in aortic bioprosthesis with AF if the valve was implanted more than 3 months back. NOACs are better avoided in those with moderate or severe mitral stenosis and AF in view of high thromboembolic risk. NOACs should not be used in those with mechanical prosthetic valves. A person was resuscitated from cardiac arrest. His temperature was 37 degrees centigrade and serum potassium was 4.5 milliequivalents per liter. ECG showed an abnormal wave at the end of the QRS complex. He is likely to have A. Hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, B. Long QT syndrome, C. Arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia, D. Acute myocardial infarction. Correct answer C. Arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia. The wave at the end of the QRS is likely to be epsilon wave. It is sometimes called post-excitation by analogy with the delta wave seen at the beginning of the QRS in pre-excitation. Hypothermia, hypokalemia and hyperkalemia can cause cardiac arrest, which are excluded from the data given. Osborn wave in hypothermia is also seen at the end of the QRS complex. Hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy would show left ventricular hypertrophy with strain pattern and sometimes giant T wave inversions. Long QT syndrome would not affect the QRS complex. Acute myocardial infarction should have shown other features on the ECG. Other possibilities to be considered are the J-wave syndromes like the malignant variety of early repolarization syndrome. Descending aortic flow reversal can be noted in A. Aortic regurgitation, B. Rupture of sinus of Valsalva into right ventricle, C. Patent ductus arteriosus, D. All of the above, E. None of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. It may be noted that transient descending thoracic aortic flow reversal may be detectable by Doppler echo without any of these conditions. When the aortic wall is stiff as in hypertensives with atherosclerosis, transient flow reversal is thought to be one mechanism for cerebral embolism from aortic plaques beyond the origin of cerebral vessels. In severe aortic regurgitation, it is a pan-diastolic flow reversal with end-diastolic velocity more than 20 cm per second. It is taken as an indirect evidence of severe aortic regurgitation on echocardiography. Pressure half time less than 200 meter per second is indicative of A. Mild AR, B. Moderate AR, C. Severe AR, D. No relation to severity of AR. Correct answer C. Severe AR. Other echocardiographic features of severe AR would be large regurgitant jets in case of a central jet, dense CW signal of the regurgitant jet, hollow diastolic flow reversal in descending aorta with an end diastolic velocity above 20 cm per second, regurgitant volume of 60 ml or more, effective regurgitant orifice area of 30 square millimeter or more, and a dilated left ventricle. Other conditions which can shorten the pressure half time of aortic regurgitation jet are 1. Increase in left ventricular diastolic pressure, 2. Vasodilator therapy, 3. Dilated and compliant aorta. Pressure half time can be lengthened in chronic aortic regurgitation. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates and click on the bell icon for all updates. Thank you.